Now we're going to talk about creating strategic partnerships and collaborations with other online creators, especially bloggers. Now, what is the benefit of this? The first benefit is that you will reach a wider audience. You'll be able to get in front of an audience that is somewhat similar to the one you have already, but maybe slightly different. So if you know someone who has a gardening website and they specialize in hibiscus, there may be someone there who may be specialized in just general plants, but they're based out of Florida. So that hibiscus blogger who specialize in hibiscus flowers may go over to the blogger who's more general, but they specialize in location with Florida. And the hibiscus blogger will say, hey, I know you have a whole blog on gardening in Florida, but how about I submit you an article about hibiscus, since that's my specialty, and I could talk about growing hibiscus in Florida. So that's kind of the way you have to think about when you're trying to figure out what kind of blog that you want to partner up with. Just know that this can go for YouTube, which we'll talk about later, and especially podcasting. Podcasting is an incredible one, so I'm going to make sure I put this down here to talk about podcasting at the end. Now, some tips that you have to think about when you are choosing a blogger to collaborate with or submit a guest post with, or if you want them to submit a guest post with, you have to think about choosing the best partner. And you can do this by researching. When we get into the business of blogging section, I'm going to teach you about researching the competition. It's not that they're going to be your competitors, but you want to know who's in your space. Go to their website, see what kind of content they have, see the gaps that they may be missing that you can add value to that website. You want to go on their social media, get familiar with how they interact with their audience. You want to also go check out their email list, get on their email list, see how they talk to the people on their email list, get to know the person to see if they would be a good fit for you to put your name out there on their website, and vice versa. Now you want to make sure that your stuff is good. This tip: do not approach someone if you are still trying to figure out how to write. You want to go to them with the best you have, and when they look you up, have your website looking amazing, have your blog post looking amazing and organized the right way, format the right way based on the things that we have taught you, so that you can be presented well. When someone's gonna come meet you, they want to make sure you put your best foot forward. You want to also make sure your social media blueprint across the online space is really nice, it's on brand, or they just go look at you and they have no questions. A lot of times I hate when people pitch me and they send me to a website. One, it has nothing to do with what I talk about. So there's no way you're going to guest post on my website because we don't even talk about the same things. And then two, if I go to your website, it hasn't been updated in months or years, or it's doing old blogging practices, you're not getting traffic. I'm not saying you have to have a lot of traffic, but you have to have some kind of significant amount of traffic. What will that benefit me to sit there and accept your submission to my website? I'm the one who have to kind of go through it and edit it and format it and post it and promote it, because I'm not going to have an article on my website that I don't promote. So when someone's pitching me, come correct. Make sure you come correct. Make sure your stuff is good. That's all you have to do. And with all the formatting tips we have here, the branding, we're going to teach you about branding your stuff, showing up on social media, learn the social media platforms, know what works for them. And on Instagram, if they like photos and reels, make sure you have some good photos and reels. Just have something there. Engage with your audience when they're talking to you. Talk back. So when somebody's saying, they just pitched me, let me see if I want to work with them, your stuff is good to go. Now, tip number 3, like I mentioned in tip number 1, is to get to know them. And like I said, you do this by getting on their social media, getting on their email list, commenting on their YouTube videos, commenting on all their social media stuff. Let them see your name come up. So when you get ready to pitch them, which is tip number 4, send a personalized message, you can say something to the effect of, "Hi Stacy, I love your Instagram page about growing hibiscus in America. I especially like that post when you make tea out of hibiscus. I thought that was so cool. I want you to know that I also have a gardening website that focuses on gardening in Florida. And I thought it'd be great for me to write an article for your website to talk about growing hibiscus in Florida, as I noticed that you don't have that article on your website. I will write it out for you. I'll get all the photos for you. I'll format it for you. All you have to do is hit publish and link back to my site. And I'll also link back to your site. Give her a sample article on your website that would make sense for her hibiscus website, and give her an example. Say, on this link right here, I'll put a link to your article. That way you are providing value for her, and you're not making her feel overwhelmed, like, okay, you want to submit an article, okay, now I gotta format, I gotta edit, I gotta find photos. No, you're coming there saying, hey, I see this particular keyword is missing from your website. This is how many searches it's getting per month. This is the competition level on my keyword tool that I use, so I know that we can rank for it. I'll write it for you. I'll get the images together. I'll format it for you. All you have to do is hit publish, and in exchange, I just request that you can leave a link to my website from me writing on your website, just saying like, this is the author and where you can find me, and vice versa. I'll use this particular article that is talking about hibiscus in general, and I'll link them back to your website. Boom, that's it. We'll talk more about how to pitch people in the next module. Now, the next tip is you want to offer them something good. That was the example I just gave. You come in there correct. You told them that, hey, I like what you did on blog post such and such when you talked about such and such, or what you did on Instagram when you talked about this, or how you showed me how to do this, so that they know that you are invested. And you can say, I've been following you for a few months. I am username such and such. And they're like, oh, I know her. Oh my God, yes, I would love for you. And then you're offering them all the work. You're doing all the work for them. So they really can't say no. And if you don't hear from them within a week, send the email again. Just tweak it a little bit and resend it. Now, the final tip that I have for you is to consider YouTubers and podcasters too. Do not sleep on YouTube, because YouTube is where a lot of connections are drawn. It's something different when somebody actually sees you, YouTube, or hears you, a podcast. And it's easier to get in front of somebody's audience quickly. You don't have to write a blog post. You just show up. You give them an idea of what kind of video topic you was thinking about. You come to that YouTuber and say, hey, all I need for you to do is record this part. I have this. This is the outline. I'll edit it. I'll send you the video back for you to post on your channel. All I do is that you give me a shout out to my website, or if you have a YouTube channel, give a shout out to my YouTube channel. Now, when it comes to podcasting, this is gold, because podcasting, you'll be able to go in front of somebody's audience, which can be so powerful. Listening people, when people are listening, that's very intimate. You get in there, you drop some value bombs, you send them a link to get a freebie from your website to get on your email list. And then that podcaster, when they get ready to post that particular interview on their website, guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you a backlink, so that a reader who's coming to that blog post to listen to the podcast will say, who is this person? I love them. You got a backlink to your website. So I would say, think about all of these things when you're thinking about the type of people you want to partner with, and be strategic. Just don't go out there with the new shiny people. Look at people who are coming up, who you see have a lot of engagement on their blog, on their social medias, and reach out to them.